am again trying to work. Just started this product. I'm about 10 minutes into it, and here you go again, which is why I'm migrating my stores to WooCommerce. This is Ecwid.com. I've made about 30 screencasts. I don't know how many screencasts, and complained about this almost every day for the last 2 or 3 years, saying put an autosave feature in this text editor, but they don't. So Ecwid.com is an unusable e-commerce solution, although it's pretty cutting edge in its basic concept. But unfortunately, you see this heads up service update is coming in 1 minute. Luckily, I just saved this. I now have to stop working. And the biggest bullshit of this whole thing is that you can see it also misaligns here. It's also not doubling and stuff. You can see these things here, the categories. If we go into full screen text editor, you can see that service update warning is completely disappeared. And so if you were working in this, just about to center this image, and you just write, let's say, a few minutes of stuff here, you just added this, somehow within 59 seconds, without you knowing, because you can't see this, heads up, but no tails up, you can't see it. And so, as you can also see here, quantity in stock, there's a funny little thing here, which is overlapping. As you can see, this tech tooltip is also missing off half the screen, and you would lose this. You would lose your work because there's absolutely no warning and no autosave feature in your text editor, which is why this particular product editor in this particular e-commerce solution, in my opinion, as a webmaster and an owner of 5 online shops, 4 of them with Ecwid, is absolutely, better save that quick. I've got 9 seconds, and so let's say I was just typing here, I'm gonna lose this work because Ecwid is stupid and unusable, and they won't solve this problem. And so when we come back from this delay to our work and waiting for them to update about 5 times a day, even though, anyway, though they don't admit it, they say they update a couple of times a month, but they don't. So these 13 seconds have gone. Why isn't the page refreshing? The page usually would refresh. They've obviously done something now. I've been complaining for 3 years. Let's see what happens when I close this. Let's see what happens when I close this window and see what the update heads up warning has done. Now, you're gonna lose this anyway, but let's see. Are we ready? What's this here too? This is absolutely terrible. So that is what happens. You can actually, I could have continued writing within there without noticing that actually my CP, my control panel, is completely blocked now. And so I was writing there in something that is not even going to be saved at all. You might not have noticed, and that's happened to me where I've been in full screen and I've written there for an hour or so, and I'm talking about 40,000-50,000 words, yeah? And all of a sudden decided I want to save the product, so I close the full screen editor, and when you do, this is what happens. You cannot access it. You can't get to your work. And what we just wrote in here it's going to be lost. And so this is a reason why, firstly, you shouldn't use Ecwid at all as your online shop e-commerce solution, because it's going to destroy your work every day on multiple occasions. If you add more than one product a day and you spend time writing up your products in full screen, then you are going to lose a lot of work day after day. I've been losing work here I've been with them for 7 years, and I've been telling them, complaining and screaming and shouting about this for years, almost daily. All I get back is some complacent answer. That is because our text editor is from Redaktor, which is also a really crap text editor. Doesn't belong to Ecwid. They just got a cheapo crapo text editor and inserted it into their CP. Not like other e-commerce solutions like Shopify and BigCommerce and WooCommerce, which uses the WordPress blog editor. What you see is what you get editor, which is fantastic because it has an autosave feature. As to BigCommerce and Shopify, I haven't tested those enough yet to notice if they have autosave in their product editors, but I would assume they do. They seem to have developed their own product editor, or what you see is what you get editor, WYSIWYG Editor, but Ecwid are too cheapskate to do that, or they're not ingenious enough to be able to develop their own. And this is why. Because the text editor is inside an iFrame and you open it in full screen, they cannot access the Redaktor code of the text editor to make sure this heads up, orange heads up thing we saw, which you can actually see a little beige line here through their CSS from the heads up, which actually imposes and spills over into the top of the header of the CP, of the control panel. Now I'm still talking, and this screencast is pretty boring because it's grayed out and still I can't do anything except talk to you. But that's okay, because you can actually start counting or holding your breath and see if you would die of lack of oxygen whilst waiting to continue your work. Now, I used to add up to 12 products a day to my shop. Now I'm lucky if I get 1 or 2 in because of this, because after it's updated, it might happen again. They'll do it up to 2 or 3 times a day sometimes. And so as you can see, it's impossible to work or get any work done on this online editor, and I seriously would recommend. In the moment I'm moving to WooCommerce, and I'm going to show how to use that optimally and not lose your work, because it's completely safe. You know, WordPress is constantly auto-saving your work as you're writing, so you're never ever going to lose your work. Even if you have a browser crash, the new WordPress actually saves a cache of your editing on your own computer, so when you open the browser again, you won't even have lost any work from a browser crash. And that's why WooCommerce in WordPress is 1,000 times better than Ecwid. Another reason, which I'm going to explain in another screencast video, is why Ecwid's SEO, meaning letting Google and the other search engines read your products as if they were articles, is very, very bad. And you have to use lots of workarounds that force you to webmaster your stuff in a different way to how you might normally wish to. So you have to adapt to Ecwid. Ecwid does not adapt to you. I am going to make stuff to show you what's good about Ecwid. Oh look, 5 minutes later, and let's go back into full screen now and see what happened. Well, as you can see, the text I wrote is gone, and I was able to keep writing it even after this pop-up and the block of my editor was already in effect. The update was actually initiated, but I was still able to type stuff here, and I could have tried to add images. I could have added 10 images and God knows what. And then if I would have tried to save, when I close this, there was that grayed out screen with the pop-up saying, in a moment your Ecwid is going to be updated and better than even before. It's not going to be better than even before. It's going to be just the same as it was before. because actually they haven't updated anything for you. What they have done, just let me save this and make sure I didn't put any of that text in there. What they have done when they do those updates, I'll show you what they're doing, and it's not better than before. They're putting more of these crappy apps in to sell to you for $70 a month so you can email your customers. Whereas with WooCommerce, you can get a plugin for about $40 or more, one-time payment, and email your customers forever. Here they've got you addicted like a junkie to pay $70 a month, and Ecwid are putting all of these wolves in their own field of sheep. We are the sheep, the customers, and they're letting all of these wolves in 50-50 with Ecwid. And so that's what the update is really about, is to put more crap in to sell the shit out of you and make you go bankrupt. Because Ecwid really sucks, it really does. It used to be the best e-commerce solution in the world, but they've just gone so arrogant in their own way, they've lost their way, and it sucks. And so you can see how you would have lost a lot of work. And I'll just underline again how this did not stop you writing, even though this was updating and you had no more online access to it, because they were updating the database. And you could have been here adding pictures to your website, to your product, and writing stuff, as you say in Spanish, por la puta cara, for your fucking face, meaning for nothing, because it's gonna be lost. And so this is my second screencast about why Ecwid Product Editor and the Ecwid E-Commerce Solution is seriously, stay away from it. Do not use it, and check out my upcoming screencasts and tutorials, which will be about WooCommerce and how to do fantastic SEO. I won't need to show you how to not lose your work, because you're not going to lose your work in WooCommerce and WordPress. That's the most recommended solution that I'm going to be pushing in the moment to you, to teach you. And you can also look forward to, I'll be giving you some reviews and some basic runarounds of the CPs of BigCommerce and Shopify. But I got a feeling I'm going to warn you about those as well. Shopify is well overpriced, that's for a start. Anyway, this is me once more at the end of a tutorial and informative screencast video. The Webmaster signing off.